electronic invention I want you to see. Well, I have a wonderful electronic invention I want you to see.
Hello and welcome. It's another Friday and it's time for a Vapors Report. I'm Anthony Ramella here with
Megan Pearl.
Awesome. Stepping all over each other today. All right, it's all right. We're having a fun Friday today, doing another Vapors Report. We got some serious stuff to talk about later on in the episode. You might have noticed our t-shirts, but we'll get to that in a minute. Just some fun stuff to start out with. So I got my Puma out. I love this mod. I didn't think I was going to like it as much as I do, but that lightweightness of that is awesome. It really is. I like the triangular design. It's very stable on there. For $45, I just don't think you're going to find anything better than that. Sure, it's got a few little flaws to it, but which one of us doesn't? So, that's being a little bit picky for a $45 mod. If I had to pay $450 for this, yeah, I'd be picky. But for $45, I'll keep buying these. I really like them. So, what you vaping on today?
I got my Novo, my Falcon. So
Awesome.
we're kind of twins.
Yep. A little bit. It's just because the Falcon is awesome.
Yeah, favorite tank by far.
The funny thing is, we've actually dropped down to very few tanks for sale just because the Falcon just keeps killing it.
Yeah.
It's like everything we bring out to try and challenge it with is just not quite as good.
Can't really hold a candle to it.
No, I mean, there are some lower wattage options out there that are really good flavors and stuff, and that's not really a competitor with the Falcon because these are, you're going to be at 65, 75, 85 watts on these. So there are some smaller tanks that we have that are really, really great. When it comes to the sub-ohm tank, man, I'm having a hard time finding a better one.
I like the Freemax a lot.
I was just going to say, Freemax is probably number 2 for me, but I'm still just not getting the same hit. I mean, it's just a personal opinion thing, but...
From what I've been told, the Freemax coils last longer.
Yeah.
But really, what does it matter when they all last like 3 weeks?
Right. You got an ugly pair of shoes that last for 3 years. They're still an ugly pair of shoes. So, yeah, it's just not the same thing. But anyway, we're just, joking around. Anyway, so, we wanted to do a little intro here for you guys, but every week we do release a new liquid, which is an important thing. So it must be time for the weekly liquid lowdown. All right, guys. Well, it is time for the weekly liquid lowdown. And this week we are releasing a flavor, and I'm going to let you introduce this because I know how much you
It's my baby.
So tell the people at home, what are we releasing today?
We're releasing S'more to Love.
S'more to Love is delicious. Chocolate, marshmallow, graham cracker, everything you want in a s'more. To be honest with you guys, I haven't had a better one. And I know it's something that we sell at our stores, so I'm a little partial, but gosh, I've tried other s'mores flavors. They're heavy on graham cracker.
I thought I was the only one.
Awful chocolate. It's never that good combination. I get a heavy marshmallow in this, and I don't mind that. I like that sweet marshmallow flavor. So, what are you getting?
It's a nice little trifecta. I feel like it's a really good balance of all of them. The graham cracker is a little lighter, but I feel like graham cracker should be a little lighter than any of that flavor in a s'more flavor. But yeah, I like the balance.
And it's weird. It almost seems like the wrong time of year to release something like this because that's like, campfires and things like that are more of a fall thing. But this is so good. Well, there's no way we can wait that long.
It's really good all year round.
We want you guys to try this stuff because it is really fantastic. So you can get it at any of the Vapor stores. So if you live in the Northern Ohio area, just jump on vapors1.com, check out locations. You can get this right off of the website as well. And the nice thing about the website, some of the least expensive shipping charges of any website I've been on. You spend $35 on the site, the shipping is free. And realistically, a bottle of juice and a pack of coils, and you're there. A lot of the sites I see, it's at least $50 before you get free shipping. And if it's not $50 worth, sometimes it's like 10 or 15 bucks in shipping. It's like, holy crap. That's a lot of money to spend on shipping for something like this. So any of you states out there that are struggling with taxes and whatnot, go to vapors1.com. We'll ship that stuff right to you. We want to keep you vaping because you got to stop smoking or you're going to die. So anyway, we got to get on some news. So that is the weekly liquid lowdown, and we're pretty excited about that. We also offer that s'more flavor in a salt too. So those of you out there that like pod systems, we haven't forgotten about you. Come in and try it out. And the nice thing about our salts at Vapors are they are available, especially our brand, are 50, 30, and 15. So if you do want to step that nicotine down and get a lower amount, or even you're trying to quit, but this is what's working for you, we do offer a 15, and I don't know any other companies that do that. So I'm pretty happy about that. All right. Well, if you haven't noticed already, we got some new shirts on today. I didn't even wear my normal jacket because I wanted to kind of show these off. There's been a lot of things going on in the news lately. We touched on some of this last week. Actually, we pretty in depth talked about this last week. 3 bills in the House of Representatives that all have flavor bans attached to them. For me, I love flavors. I
don't know an
hate
adult that
tobacco
doesn't.
flavors. Right. I'm not a fan of tobacco flavors. I know why they're there. Some people need them. But for me, I know. We did an episode not that long ago where we did some of the salt liquids, and we sell a cigarette salt liquid flavor.
Yeah.
And I remembered the flavor, but didn't want that at all. Like
No.
I was like, okay, we'll do these few for the show, and that's it for me. So I use flavors. I like candy. I like ice cream, and I'm not a kid. I'm 46 years old, and I like these flavors. And Megan is half my age, and she likes these flavors. So it's not a young thing. It's not an old thing. It's an everybody thing. And if candy was only being sold to kids, I think those companies would have been out of business a long time ago. So people like candy.
That's very true.
I mean, I really like candy. I know you like candy.
Yeah.
Getting off that sugar is tough. I mean, we've tried the
This
keto
helps,
thing a
too.
few times, and jumping out of a moving car when you see a bakery is a craving.
Oh, I got stories now too.
So definitely that. But let's get on to some new stuff. So one of the hot topics from last night when I was on Instagram is Colorado is now bumping up their vape tax to 63%.
That's heavy. That's really heavy.
So I mean, what are your thoughts about that? What are you thinking?
It's just preposterous.
It
like,
is,
how
it's
do they?
absolutely-
How is it even legal? How do they get away with that?
Well, it's a tobacco product, so
No, I get it.
they've been able to beat that industry to death. And
no, I get
think,
how it's legal. I'm just saying that's how preposterous it is. Like, I
It
just
seems
don't
ridiculous.
understand.
And to be honest with you, I think part of the problem there is because when they legalized recreational marijuana, they were selling ounces of marijuana, which is like the max you can buy in a store for like $300 or $400, and they were getting 20% tax on that. Well, they're still getting 20% tax, but now the prices of those products have dropped in the basement. I saw an ad on April the 20th that was $45 for an ounce.
Wow.
So they're getting like $8 in tax off of that versus the 80 they were getting before.
Yeah.
How do they fix that? They've got this money's already spent. I mean, that tax money is already budgeted to be spent. So they had to find another way to find it. And you hear the word epidemic. Well, let's tax that. If there's that many people out there that are vaping that are not smoking. And I think that's the other funny thing too is that if adult smoking rates have dropped drastically, they have to pull that money from somewhere.
Absolutely.
I felt like this was an eventual thing. Like
Yeah.
it was just going to happen.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I can't really think of any other way that they're going to get that tax money. I hate it. I don't think it's
We all
right.
do.
I mean, I feel like it's like taxing medicine. I mean, to the point. I mean, obviously this isn't medicine, but it's a way for people to stop smoking, and it's one of those things where I just think that they're making this more and more and more difficult for us to deal with.
And I don't see it stopping anytime in the near future either, which is
No.
very unfortunate.
I kind of thought it was funny. I've been kind of waiting for this. I figured there was probably going to be some kind of federal thing that came down that if they decided to let us keep our flavors, they're like, we'll let you keep the flavors, but we're going to tax this like we do with cigarettes.
Yeah.
I really kind of felt like that. But here's the question I have for you. So I've been thinking about this a little bit. So let's say everybody stops vaping. Everybody stops smoking. Everybody stops drinking alcohol. Where does the tax money come from then?
Donuts.
Donuts.
Yep.
I'm thinking coffee.
Really?
Yeah.
Coffee's good for you, though.
But coffee is probably one of those things that more people are addicted to than anything else.
Actually, I have found out in recent times, actually, that sugar is one of the most addictive
Sugar's
things.
pretty bad, but trying to tax sugar would be just everywhere across the board. I don't think they would actually
They
do
would
that.
make the most revenue from it as
Right.
well.
But can you imagine the March on Washington if Starbucks had to start charging like 62% tax on every
It'd be
coffee
like
they put
$30
out?
for a cup of coffee.
And I've seen some of these goofy TV shows where, like, in a parallel universe where coffee is not legal there, and you could see the people are just like, "Oh my God, this is so good! I don't get to have this in my world."
Okay, you say it's a parallel universe, but like in North Korea, like they just legalized French fries and hamburgers like in 2013.
But then there's other countries that do things completely the opposite way, where you've got like almost no laws in place. And I just watched one last night in Thailand. 2/3 of the male population smoke. Okay, and there are very few laws governing tobacco. Anything, you can advertise, you can do whatever you want. And the worst part of what was, one of the guys that was doing the story was outside of a school, and he let the school gate open up, and right outside the gate there was this kiosk that was sponsored by Marlboro Light, so that kids could buy their cigarettes before they got into school. And the funniest thing about that was they had a lighter on a string.
So that's where those videos of kids smoking come from.
Yeah, there's actually
Makes
one
sense.
off of there. It's a 2-year-old that's just chain smoking.
Yeah, I saw one of a really
Yeah.
young kid like that, and it kind of makes sense.
They went back and saw him a few months later, and it was like he had caught fame off of this. He was this. You see this little 3-year-old with like pimped out sunglasses on and like chains and stuff on. And this newscaster walks up to him. All this kid was missing was a posse. It was, but that's sad. It's like, parents, you've got to do something about this. You've got to see if your kids are vaping or if your kids are smoking. You've got to inform them. You got to educate them, and last case, you got to discipline them, because I mean, eventually this has
your
to
job.
stop. This really does have to stop. So I think the other big thing that's been in the news here lately with the Senate is the Senate Majority Leader. Is it Mitch McConnell? I think is his name. Anyway,
right.
he just implemented a Tobacco 21 or put a bill out there to be voted on, and he is the House Majority Leader. So if you guys think that this is something that you can just, it's not happening to me, it's not in my front yard, it's in your front yard now.
That, and I believe Walgreens just made it 21 and above.
Yes.
And I feel like that stems from some sort of pressure.
I'm sure it does.
Yeah.
I'm sure it does. Even the Senate Majority Leader had said that I'm getting so many calls from parents about this vaping epidemic. The problem is I'm just not seeing the epidemic. If I was actually going somewhere and I saw groups of teens just all standing around juuling, as they say, then I would think that was a problem. But I'm just not seeing it. In every news article that I read or every video that I watch, it's always like, well, we were able to get 1 device or 2 devices. I'm like, that's not an epidemic. It really isn't.
Not even close.
No.
And coming from someone that works in a vape shop, most of my customers are at least 30, 35. Like, I really don't even have many people coming in that are my age, let alone younger than that.
Yeah, so the bottom line is this. We vape and we also vote. And if you're 18 and you're registered to vote, you also vape, or you also vote, and you may vape as well. But we need to get this out there. We are people that actually vote, and our vote should matter for something. And if enough of us start contacting people in authority with this message that I vape because I find it's a healthier lifestyle, I don't want to go back to cigarettes, but I also vote. So those of you that are going to get behind this and allow us to have these flavors and stop smoking, that's the kind of person I'm going to vote for. And these ones that are coming against this and saying and trying to put cigarettes and vape all in the same category, I'm not voting for you. Number one, you're ignorant. You need to take some time and do some research and learn what's really going on with this. I mean, the New England Journal of Medicine just released something within the last 6 months saying how much healthier that e-cigarettes were. The guy that invented the nicotine patch and Chantix says vaping is a better option for quitting smoking than the products that I designed. Now, this is a guy that's been, investigating this since the 70s, okay? This is his whole job. If my whole job was working on cars and you came in and asked me what was wrong with your car and I told you, you'd probably take my word for it. If this guy's been studying this since the 70s, I think we should take his word for it. And the funny thing is the FDA has already approved Chantix. So we know that they value what he's doing. They understand that. Don't take this away from us. Do what you can to punish the kids. Going from 18 to 21 is not going to stop teenagers from doing this, okay? Mm-hmm. How old do you have to be before you can drink?
21.
You ever seen a teen movie that didn't have drinking in it?
That's a good point.
Ever? No. I mean, it's one of those things that it gets sensationalized by Hollywood, and then kids want to do it because it's something for adults, and they feel older when they can do it. I know, even when I was in high school, and it's, it wasn't a one-room schoolhouse, Megan, but even when I was in high school, that was one of the big things. You had to just find somebody to get you beer. Megan and I always have this joke, because our age difference is quite a bit, but we still enjoy each other's company. One day at the shop, she said, well, when you're 65, you can go to college for free. I'm like, I'm not 65. I'm not even close to 65.
That, and there was that one time I told you had to pick your year of birth, and I was like, so you got to scroll all the way down to 1955 or whatever year it was.
No, 1955. 1972, yeah, it's been some time ago, but Nixon was in office.
It's the one time you're allowed to call me a bitch.
But anyway, every week we want to get this stuff out to you. We want to keep it lighthearted and on these type of videos because we want you guys to watch. We want you to understand that these things are important. But I vape, I vote. We're going to put this out. It's on my Instagram already. We're going to put it out, YouTube, Twitter. We want this to be something big. I think it's a simple enough, message to get across. we're Americans, okay? We should have freedoms to make choices like this. If you're adult enough to go to college, if you're adult enough to go off to war, you should be mature enough to be able to make this decision for yourself. And
Absolutely.
I think it's going to be horrible for kids that are now going to start smoking cigarettes and don't have to make the transition again back to vaping when they get to be 21, when we could just eliminate this right now. And every time I bring this up, I always say the same thing. Make vaping available at 18. Make smoking cigarettes available not till 21. Because then you can make a mature decision. Okay, you've already tried this out. If this works for you, and you try that and go, "Oh God, no, that's just awful." That's the way I want this to go. You know, I really, really do. So, anything else going on? How's school?
It's finals week, so
Finals week.
It's getting a little hectic.
Yeah, got a lot of projects and stuff.
They're kind of wrapping up right now. I just finished my last presentation last night. But I got an exam today, actually, and then the rest of them next week. So
Any more presentations?
No, thank
All
God.
right. I figured you'd probably do pretty well in presentations. You do pretty well on the show, so. Depends on the day, right? Well, anyway, guys, we want to get you information that you can use because you got to stop smoking or you're gonna die. So we do have a big thing going on this month at our Spring Meadows location. It's our newest store, and it hasn't gotten the attention I think that we should have given it. So it is actually in Spring Meadows off of Airport Highway. We can call it Holland. We can call it Airport Highway. We can call it Spring Meadows. I don't care what you call it as long as you go over there and take a look at those guys. But the store manager over there is actually going to be doing a manager special, and he's really dropping the prices on the national brand liquid. So if you like the Sad Boy, if you like, you know, the Aquas, if you like all of those, I don't know which ones he's going to pick. He's going to pick a few different ones and really do a big sale on them. And that's the only store that sale is going to be available at. So go to vapors1.com, find the Spring Meadows location, get directions on how to get there, and take advantage of some of these deals. So anyway, stop smoking or you're going to die. We're going to see you next week, hopefully. But I'd like for you guys to share this video, Instagram, Twitter, get the message out there. You know, if you got reviewers that you watch, comment on there. Say, hey, what are you guys doing about this? What are you doing about that? You know, all these new devices aren't going to mean a damn thing if we don't have any liquid to put in them. So contact your representatives. You know, it's very easy. We'll put some links in there. We've been putting links in nonstop. If you haven't checked out the new Vape AM show, definitely check that out. I come to you guys with news every day. There's news links and stuff in there as well. Our mission here at Vapors is always the same. Stop smoking, you're going to die. All right? We'll see you guys next week. Same Vape time, same Vape channel. I'm Anthony Ramella.
I'm Megan Peralt.
See you later, guys. Bye.
Oh, I have a wonderful electronic invention I want you to see. Oh, I have a wonderful electronic invention I want you to see.